How you doing? Well, let me see. Let me move things around here. Cause whoa, that's no good. Because if I don't move things around, Steve will get mad at me. Steve wants to say, "Where's your silver play button?" How you doing today? I got caught enjoying a piece of chocolate, and I kind of lost track of time. That's why I'm having a hard time talking. It's my downfall. That and look, look who's here. That and date bar cookies. If you've never had a date bar cookie, oh my gosh, Kathy makes amazing date bar cookies. Oh my gosh. Um, it's not. No, this is what I've been using. It's just that I'm now on a laptop, and because I think while you were attending to the sick person in your family, Lorraine, I installed brand new computer, brand new giant monitor, but I have yet to buy a really good separate camera because the old iMac had, built-in camera, built-in microphone, built-in everything, and I didn't have all those things. So I had always used the microphone. You just didn't see it the way the angle was. Hello, Will. Yeah, we should both be golfing. Hello, Jack. Good night, sir. Man, we got the whole group here today. Holy tomato. Jason. So you got the swag. Did you like it? or did I over promise? So for those of you, I mean, Jason can't share pictures, and believe it or not, I did not take a photo of it. So um, for the past couple of months, Jason is a great viewer and follower here and great fan of the live streaming, and he's trying to convince me that I'm a celebrity, and and I keep pushing back, saying, no, no, no. Madonna's a celebrity. Harrison Ford's a celebrity. The list a mile long. All right. You know you're a celebrity when you have people come up to you in a grocery store asking for your autograph. That's the test. Just it's never happened to me. I don't think anyone's ever asked me for my autograph. So Jason was teasing me, saying that, gosh, if you could autograph a piece of 2x4 and sell it on eBay, or I'll sell it on eBay and make a lot of money. So I said, fine, give me your flipping address. I'll sign it, and good luck with that. so so it only took about 2 months to get the address out of him. He's because he works hard. Jason's a really hard worker. Jason, I won't so much give it away, but it's people like Jason, so that keep all the rest of us alive. Like when you go to the grocery store and you just think those projects magically appear. No, 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 no. They have to be moved, and trust me. So hello, Bob. How you doing? A lot of people here. I'm gonna have to go back up the chat because I'm getting lost already. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I should have kept the mic in the old view. I don't know why. Anyway, it's a nice USB mic. Forget what brand it is. It's a I don't know. It's one my friend David Lawrence told me to get. David Lawrence is a Hollywood actor, a really good friend of mine. He's an expert on voiceovers and whatever. Snowing. Yeah, we're supposed to get 2 inches of snow tonight too, Will and I, but we're not going to be shoveling it, and it better melt off the golf courses really fast. Madonna is a joke. I know. I mean, I know, but she's still a celebrity. People know her. I mean, a lot of people know her. You could go. I'm serious. You wanna see if I'm a celebrity? Go to work tomorrow, Jason, and ask all your friends at work. Hey, what do you think of Tim Carter? That's just say that. Don't say anything more. They'll go, "Who?" Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're gonna get some snow. Yes, you can have my autograph. Your mom, Lorraine, my mom went to school with Harrison Ford. I'll be doggone. Was he, have you got any stories to share about that, Lorraine? He seems maybe he's just gotten cranky as he's gotten older. Um, what's he like in real life? Um, so, um, all right. So let's see. Timmy Carter, Jimmy's son. Don't connect me with that asshat. Come on. I have her yearbook. She said he was a geek in high school. Interesting. The story, I don't know if it's true or not. You can't believe anything. Is that before his first appearance? I think his first big screen appearance, was in American Graffiti. It was not in Star Wars. So he had a very small part in American Graffiti. At the end of the movie where he had that drag race with the one guy. And, Harrison was in either that souped up 56 or 57 Chevy, and he was like a badass in the movie there. But my understanding is that he was a carpenter on building sets in Hollywood before he got noticed. I don't know if that's true. Yeah, there you go. He says, right, he was a carpenter for European guy. There you go. Yeah, so there you go. You just said it. Um, anyway, um, who's here who wants to know about materials for building a shed? If that's you, and you haven't checked in, just check in and say yes. I want to know about materials for building a shed. Just say yes. So go ahead and type it into the chat. Let's see how latent the chat is today. If there's any latency. So I hope you are doing good. I've got an Obi. Hope American Graffiti is a great movie. Yeah, Field Car. Yeah, it was a great movie. I mean, think of some of the people that are in that movie. I actually watched a documentary. Okay, good, Abdul. I'll get right to it. Um, I watched a documentary of how they made that movie back this winter, and it was fascinating. You should go onto YouTube and watch that. Um, the opening scene. Here's like little things you don't think of. So if you remember in the movie, there was the character. He was kind of the geek, kind of the guy with the glasses, the horn rim glasses, and I don't know his name, the character's name. And in the opening of the movie, he comes in on this scooter, like a Vespa scooter, goes into this drive-through and crashes into the wall. That wasn't supposed to happen. That crash was not supposed to happen, but they kept it. I mean, what's his name? George Lucas, who was the director producer, loved it, so he kept it. The original town, they had made a deal with the town. They shot all of that footage in the middle of the night. It was odd. I mean, they were shooting the footage from like midnight until 5 in the morning. And the original town that they were shooting in, it pissed them off. I mean, they even though they knew what was going to happen, they were not happy. So they kicked them out of town. So they had to really quickly go find another town. It's a really fascinating documentary. Go watch it. I don't have the link. All right. All right. Checking in from South Florida. Yes, on the cemetery. Okay, let's get started on it. So I just wrote a column this morning for national distribution. I'll have it loaded to the website in the morning. A column about. It's funny. I keep coming back, and I'm trying to train my. Not only do we talk about it here on the live streams, but I'm trying to train my newspaper audience as if they don't already know about inflation. And what happened is kind of an interesting true story. I went last week to buy some bird seed for Kathy. Not that Kathy eats bird seed. That's how it sounded, isn't it? If she knew I said that, she'd be so angry. Anyway, uh, the price of the bird seed was so expensive. It had almost tripled in price. Why? Because they the sunflower, you know where it's primarily grown? Supposedly, this is what the guy said. I don't know if it's true. Ukraine. All right. So anyway, crutch word. While I was there, I look out on in the parking lot of Agway, the Agway store. It's a store that sells a lot of agricultural type stuff here in New Hampshire. And here they had brought in for the spring all these pre-manufactured sheds and, different sizes, 10 by 20. And, they're already built. It's like you're buying the shed just like you buy a loaf of bread. I mean, when you go to the grocery, you can't say to the grocery store, like, look, I got a loaf of bread here last week, but, you know, it was a little dry. I mean, could I have a loaf that's cooked like just 3 minutes or baked 3 minutes less so it's a little more moist? No, they would just look at you like, get out of here, go away from our store. All right. So you can't, you buy the sheds exactly as they appear in the parking lot. And I was, it took my breath away. I don't know why. It just took my breath away. The price of the shed. Here's a 10 by 20 shed, and it doesn't even have 10 by 20 feet in it because it's got this little porch. It's more like 10 by 17, and it was $8,800. All right. Are you kidding me? And you need to understand that back, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, I recorded about 150 videos that step by step that show you how to build a shed, that show you how I built the shed up on the hill there. I know you can't see it. Actually, I could rotate this now. You could see it. Let's see if you can see that shed up there. So yeah, there it is right there. I know it's not the best, but you can see the horrible tomato plants. I'm killing the flipping tomato plants. All right, so I write the column, and I also check. This is really important. We lost a lot of people. They got so upset that I'm not talking about it fast enough. Uh, yes. Okay, Vesta. I then decided, okay, let's check the price. If you wanted here in Meredith, where I live, if you wanted to rent a 10-foot by 20 offsite storage thing, you see those things have sprouted up like weeds in a lawn over the past 15, 20 years because we as Americans, we have too much stuff. How bad is it? How bad is it that you have so much stuff that you have to store it offsite? And if you let me show you how let me tell you how lucrative. If you've not done the math yet, this is where it really pays attention. These are the kind of things I think about in the daytime. So think about what it costs somebody to build an apartment building. All right. All right. Like my son's apartment building. And so just think of the cost per square foot. And then think what they get charged per rent per month. And so do that on a square foot basis. Okay. So now think what it costs to build an outdoor crappy storage facility. I mean, it's got a concrete floor, these crappy overhead doors, just steel walls, steel roof. They go together in no time flat. I mean, I'm sure they're well built, but the cost per square foot is so low. And here, a 10 by 20 unit in my town right now, $193 a month. That's $200 a month. That's $1 a square foot. All right, a month. Crazy. Crazy. All right. Now, all right. So I'm going to answer that question as we move on. 8-bit vinyl. I'll answer that question. All right. So I write this column, and then I decide what people really need is they need to know. They want to be able to price it out. And I show them that, look, if you're in this situation where you are renting one of these offsite storage things, I mean, the offsite storage people are going to hate my column, but that's too bad for them. Because you're basically, and if you're renting a 10 by 20 unit, you're spending over $2,000 a year. Crazy. So relate that to the shed that you can buy for $8,000. And then relate that back. Well, gosh, if I just get the materials myself and I build the shed myself, which can't be that hard, even if it takes you all summer, it doesn't matter. You just work on the weekends and your nights off, you're going to get it done. you're going to save thousands and thousands of dollars. And over the life of the shed, you're going to save tens of thousands of dollars. All right. So now let's chimp with a car. Oh, you're not going to believe it. I threw away my cheat sheet, but I'm sure it's Andrew. All right, so let's answer 8 bits. That's okay. That's all right. Let's answer 8 bits column. A question. I was wondering about the distance um, between sono tubes. Not you've got sauna. That's what threw me off. I saw the word sauna. I thought, what is he talking about? When you're in a sauna, you're not in a tube. Yes. All right. In my material sheet, I put them about 5 feet apart, 5 to 6 feet. You can spread it. You can go a little bit more. Like on my shed up there, I have 4 per side. A lot of weight on my shed. A lot of weight, and I have a big beam. It's a double 2x12. So because it's a double 2x12, you can go a little farther in the span. So in my situation, I've got 4 over 24 feet. So that's every 8 feet. So I've got one at 0, one at 8 feet, one at 16, and one at 24 at the corners. So anyway, 2 correct words in a row. Materials. Let's start with the floor. The best floor, if your site can handle it, the best floor you can have, concrete, bar none. Concrete floor for shed, fantastic. Just I can't say enough good things about it. It's durable. As long as you put 1/2 inch rebar in it, you're not going to have the floor all funky. Put that rebar 2 feet on center, both directions. You can get away with a 4-inch slab. 5-inch would be better. And you need to make sure that you elevate that slab and get the top of the slab. I know it sounds crazy, but you can do this. Get the top of the slab at least 6 inches higher than the surrounding ground, at least 6 inches, so that you can slope the ground away from the shed so that there's no way any overland water, like in a really heavy storm, the last thing you want is water running into the shed. Okay. So get that slab up in the air. You can always make it look like it's level by adding fill around it later. All right. If you're going to go with a wood floor, which is going to be cheaper, probably I didn't do the math because it's so hard, because everybody's paying different prices all over the nation. But you need, I did the math. I think you needed, I don't have that thing in front of me now. I think I figured 5 cubic yards of concrete. Here's how you figure the concrete. There's neat little slide rules. I have one. They're old. You can go online and now they're automatic. But 4-inch thick slab, 1 cubic yard covers 81 square feet. All right. So and here's how you figure that out. So imagine a cubic yard, which is 3 foot by 3 foot, right? So if you slice that into 4-inch thicknesses, 4-inch wafers, how many wafers do you get? You get 9 wafers, right? Because it's 36 inches high. So 4 into 36 is 9, right? If you remember your grade school multiplication tables. So and there's 9 square feet in each slab. So you got 81 square feet. And with a 10 by 20 shed, you've got 200 square feet. So 200 divided by 81 is, I was wrong. It was 2.5. It's 3. So it's 3 cubic yards of concrete. And you're going to need help. If you're going to pour a concrete slab, like for a shed, you got to have at least 5 people there. Yourself plus 5. And what I said also in this neat little document, I think I shared the document. You can get the material list right here. Yeah. You can get the material list right there. If you're going to do the slab and you've never done concrete before, you've got to practice. All right. And so all you got to do is just pour a simple little 2 foot by 4 foot slab that you're going to break up with a sledgehammer, or you could pour it. Maybe you need it for something to set garbage cans on. I don't care. Doghouse, whatever. But you probably only need 5 bags of Saccrete to pour this little slab. But mix it, pour it, and then you'll learn after watching some YouTube videos how hard it is to get a nice kind of a magnesium float or steel trap finish on it. Because you want the inside of the slab on the shed to be kind of smooth. Not as smooth as glass, it'll be too slippery then, but, you know, something less than smooth glass. All kinds of great videos show you how to do it. Now, if you're gonna go wood floor, all right, quick thing on wood floors. It's gotta all be treated lumber, and not just any treated lumber. Treated lumber comes in different grades. It's got different levels of preservative in it. You wanna make sure that you get treated lumber that's rated for ground contact or direct burial. All right, that's got the most preservative. Um, and I mean everything. And you probably didn't know this, but you can buy plywood, 3/4 inch thick plywood that's treated. Seriously, that's what's in my shed up there. I mean, how cool is that? So that way, if water gets in the shed, or you I don't know, just you bring in snow and it melts, big deal. Who cares? The floor's treated. All right, so big deal. The only problem is that the treated plywood is just square edge plywood. It does not have a tongue and a groove, which means you have to run 2 or 3 rows of flat blocking 2x4 so that the plywood doesn't sag in between the floor joists. So you have to put blocking in. If you got any questions about it, let me know. The walls, very standard. I would use regular 8-foot studs. So your wall height from the plywood floor to the top of the plate is going to end up being 8 foot 4.5 inches. I would frame the roof with 2x6s. I would, put a collar tie at least every other rafter. uh, Probably best to put a collar tie every one. And the collar ties don't have to be right at the bottom, resting on the wall top of the wall. If you want a little bit more ceiling height, because I figured a 7/12 pitch, and a 7/12 pitch give you kind of a nice little attic space about 3 feet high at the center of the rafter, which means you could store a lot of long lumber up there. And the way that you would get access to that, I put in the end of this document, like a little flip up, like a little flip up door up in the gable end that would allow you to slide if you needed to store long pieces of lumber. Because once you put the collar ties in, you can't get the lumber up there. You have to slide them in from the outside. All right. I just figured T111 siding. That's the standard. I mean, it's cheap. If you're going to put that, if you're going to use that, I would highly recommend that the bottom edge of the plywood, you need to really paint that or seal that 2 or 3 or 4 times before you put it on the wall, because it's going to be really hard to do once it's on, because rainwater, anything splashing the ground, that's why that stuff rots out. So you have to really seal the bottom of that to prevent the T111 from rotting out over time. It's a little trick a lot of people don't know. What to mention on the treated floor dress. In this particular example, Sean, I've just got like a 10x20 shed. I would just put 2x6s in. That's going to be plenty of support. I mean, you know, it's a shed. I mean, if you want to beef it up, if you're thinking that you're going to store a lot of heavy stuff in there, then you probably want to go 2x8s. So, but 2x6. I mean, you should see these crappy sheds that I just walked in today. I walked into some today. I took some photographs for this product that I created, and all the floor joists. They don't even have floor joists. They've just got like 4x4s and 2x4s. It's horrible, spanning 10 feet. It's horrible. Um, anyway, anyways, a crutch word. You should, if you don't already know this, you say crutch words when your mouth gets ahead of your brain. Um, I like overhead doors, because they're a little bit more expensive to put in, but they're so they've got so much more utility. The swinging doors, they tend to be much harder to seal. They'll warp over time. They never seem to fit right. You're constantly fighting with them. They want to sag. They're a nightmare. If you've got little kids around and you're not paying attention, and you go to open one of the doors on a windy day, uh, the door will get out of your hands. It'll hit the little kid, knock them unconscious, and you're taking them to the hospital. I mean, those doors that swing open, they're dangerous. They're horrible. They're tough. I would not recommend it. Go with an overhead door. Okay, any other questions? Any questions about it? Because I am, that's really about it. It's not hard. Um, yeah, exactly. 8-bit, exactly. They are so expensive. 8,000, $9,000 for these sheds. And I didn't bother to price out my material list. I created a really detailed material list. Once again, it's right here. It's only $7.95. I mean, I save you hours and hours of time trying to figure it out yourself. The average person, I don't think could ever figure out everything on that list. I just don't think they could. They would not, they just wouldn't know. You wouldn't know unless you've built a shed or two before. The, the, but I just know, I mean, the only thing I did price, I happened to go online because I wanted to get the exact name of it right, is I did price the T111. And right now, at the big orange box store, it was at my local one where I live in New Hampshire, was $35 a sheet. And I forget how many sheets I figured in my list. I can figure it out real fast. Let's see. You need 4 per side. I'm sorry, 5 per side. And then another 4. You need at least 10 sheets, 12 sheets. So 12 sheets. So, you've got about $400 in the siding. Um, I would imagine that the material, when you priced it all out, is probably going to come in uh, under $3,000. It'd just be a guess. Just, but I'm not going to go through the exercise. And I even said it in the second paragraph of the product. I said, I'm not going through the pricing exercise because it's a waste of time, because the prices are going to be different in 2 months, right? So, like, why even put the prices in if they're going to change? Um, how heavy do you think that traditional shed weighs? Oh, well, in fact, where I was taking photographs today, the company that sells these sheds, they sell them out of a big parking lot on Route 104. They actually had just dragged a shed onto a big trailer, and they must have sold it and they were taking it. It was a big one. It's like a 10 by 20. I would estimate that they weigh, um, I don't know, I'm going to say 4,000 pounds, just be a guess. Um, Will says, I'm storing wood in my shed rafters. Well, no, that would not be problematic with the overhead door, because the overhead door is below the collar ties. So even if your collar ties are sitting on top of if your collar ties are sitting on top of the wall, and you can put them up a little higher, it's not going to be an issue. Not going to be an issue, because you can get overhead doors that have a reduced radius track for tighter ceilings. They make it. Yeah, and good night. That's just a really rough guess. I'm just trying to think. The heaviest items in the shed would be the roofing material and the treated lumber floor. Like in my case, when you start to think, how much does a 10-foot 2x6 weigh treated? Uh, I mean, that could be 35 pounds maybe. So, just in the floor joist, you've got 16 of those. So 16 times 30 is, there's 500 pounds or so. The uh the plywood on the floor's got to be 500 pounds. I mean, yeah, it's going to be, easily it's going to be 2,000 pounds, could be 3,000 pounds. All right, so a lot of weight. Any questions? If you have any questions about anything about your home, you can ask them. It doesn't matter what. It does not matter. It doesn't. This is not a live. Even though the title of the live stream is about shed and shed materialist, you can ask anything you want. What was I going to share? Oh, I wanted to share. This is really interesting. Right before I went live. So this is a really interesting question. This is the type of question I get. Um, let's see. I'll even show you. I don't want you to see her email address. So there's the question, and she sent some photos. And she's a woman who lives in Indiana. So, Jason, if you're there, I don't know where in Indiana. She doesn't say, and I don't really care. But here's what she said. This is a really great teaching moment if you're here. If you're here and you're thinking about hiring a contractor, listen to this. It's not going to take long. I have a peninsula with a cabinet on one end and a waterfall at the other end, and there's 53 inches of open seating in the middle. All right, so what a waterfall is, if you don't know, that's a new trendy design term where the countertop, what they do is they're making the countertop come over like it's solid stone, and then instead of having a cabinet support it, they just take another piece of stone and make that the supported at the end. All right. So it's as if the stone has got a big 90-degree bend in it. All right. So that's a waterfall. And it says, after the granite contractor installed it, he told me I need to put a support underneath it. I am really upset because if he had told me that ahead of time, I would never have done it. What can be done now? I want to keep it open underneath. What is the most weight you can put on a granite countertop with 53 inches with open seating? All right. So, do you understand where that whole situation went off the tracks and how it could happen to you um, when you're talking with a contractor? What was the most important thing in that little paragraph? Can you pick it out? Um, Go ahead and guess if you could. I know there might be latency, and I hate doing that. And also, most people don't like to do that because they don't. If you're more than 4 years old or 5 years old, which you probably are. Well, I don't want to say how old Will is. Just teasing. um, Most people, their ego is so fragile that they don't want to look bad. So if you don't want to look bad, how can you do that? It's really simple. If you don't want to look bad, it's easy. Don't say anything. Don't take it. Don't take a guess. So 8-bit, how much weight? So no, that's not it. But that's a good guess. Here's the most important thing, and where she made her mistake. She said, if he told me I needed to put a support underneath it, uh, I would. She says, if he told me that ahead of time, I would have never done it. All right. So do you understand that? In other words, in her mind, um, and I don't know if she did this. Once again, I've only got some of the information. I've only got half the story. I've not talked to the granite contractor. I'm not going to talk to the granite contractor. Um, in her mind, she saw a picture on Pinterest or in a magazine or wherever, it doesn't matter. And she saw this beautiful waterfall countertop and she thought, that's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. And so she could have shown that to the contractor. And what she should have done, and I don't know that she did, is she should have said, I only want this if when it's done, it can look like that. And a person could get up on it and dance on it. Because at a drunken party with her teenagers or her grandkids, she's old enough to have grandkids, she might go away for a weekend, and that's what's going to happen. There's going to be somebody up there dancing on that flipping granite countertop, and there'll be stuffing dollar bills in the her garter belt. All right, I'm just telling you. I've been to parties like that when I was younger. All right, so that's where the mistake was made. In other words, she knew what she wanted, but she may not have communicated to the contractor, this is exactly what I want, and make sure it can support this much weight, or she could have said, how much weight can it support? Blah, blah, whatever it is, whatever it is. So the good news is I've got a solution for her. In other words, I've got a solution that's going to work. We're going to epoxy some angle irons underneath her, like probably a 2-inch angle iron, like 3 2-inch angle irons, and it's gonna solve the problem. So I'm gonna make this woman really happy. So the problem can be solved, but oh well, it could have been avoided in the get go. Uh, Party down, everyone. Yeah, right. All right. So that was really interesting. That's the type of questions I get, on the website, and it's kind of a rare one. It's going to be a really great teaching moment, and she's going to be so happy. This woman's going to be so flippin' happy. Um, all right. If you have any questions, I don't think we've had one question yet, other than uh, who asked that question? 8-bit did. Oh, he want yeah. We've only had one question about sonotubes. All right. Are you kidding me? How could there not be any questions today? You need to ask a question about something wrong at your home. Have you not? There's got to be something wrong at your home. Something that you. Here's one thing I'm doing. I took. I've already got. I think photos of this somewhere. Might be on Stain Solver website, but right now I'm in the process of cleaning the inside of one of the toilet tanks in our house. They get kind of yucky because we're on well water. And so what I did, here's what I do. Um, I went to the utility sink, and I've got a clean 5-gallon bucket, and put about 3 gallons of hot water in it, as hot as I could get it. And then I went to the toilet, and I had cleaned it already. I had cleaned the toilet bowl, and I then I took the lid off the toilet tank. I flushed the toilet, held the flapper valve, the handle down till all the water drained out of the tank, let go of the handle, then quickly dumped the hot water into the tank all the way to the top of the overflow tube. And I had put a little bit of Dawn dishwashing soap in it. So here I've got this nice hot water in the toilet tank. And then I sprinkled maybe, I don't know, I didn't need much, maybe a half a cup, maybe a quarter cup of stain solver in it. And it's been working for the last 2 hours. So I figured I would let it work for 3 or 4 hours. And then it'll clean the inside of the tank really well on its own. Just require minor scrubbing inside the toilet tank, and the inside of the toilet tank will look brand new. And then that allows the water that flows into the bowl each time to be nice and clean. All right. 8-bit says, I have a countertop like that. They had to make a custom made flat steel bars. Exactly. Exactly. So you have leg clearance. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to tell her to do. And the way she's going to do it, what I'll explain to her, we're going to make them out of cardboard first. She's going to just take strips of cardboard, glue them together to see, because I want to get the maximum amount of height on that steel angle iron that I can, to where she can stand back and not see it, and live with it. And it's white. It's a white countertop. So if we paint the steel white, like a flat white, it's just going to blend in. The normal person would think it's just part of the countertop. All right. So they would not know. So I actually can't wait, in a way, to get off the stream to tell her I've got great news for her. She's going to be so happy. But that's exactly right, 8-bit. That's how you do it. R:. Okay. Regrouting the same. Well, here it keeps cracking. All right. So this is a great example of the powers in the question. What can I do? If I was a smartass, but I'm not. All right. If I'm not, understand, I'm not a smartass. All right. I would say you could maybe grout it right this time. Don't be offended. All right. Here's the problem. You might be grouting it. In all honesty, you might be grouting it wrong. You might be doing everything wrong when you grout it. And if you let me ask you a question. I don't know how far behind the comments are in real time. Have you watched my 4-part how to grout floor tile series? Yes or no? Can you just tell me, have you watched my floor grouting videos? Just say yes or no. While you're typing, I'm going to. Yes. Okay, good. Is that the way? Did you do everything right like I did? Yes or no? Tell the truth. We don't know who you are, just so you know. You've got this Crazy name, so it doesn't matter. But just so tell the truth. Ah, I love you. Seriously, you're telling the truth, pretty much. Okay. If you didn't mix it right and you put too much water on, you mixed it, that's one reason why it could fail. If you did mix it right, and then when you went to strike the joints, the sponge was too wet, then you ruined it. If you didn't cure the grout, like keep it damp for 48 hours, that could ruin it. The other problem that you could have, you could do everything right. Let me ask this question. When you walk on that floor, is there it's a bathroom, it's kind of small. Is there any flex to the floor at all? Like if you jump up and down on the floor, does it kind of move like a trampoline? Is there any movement at all? Yet, and answer this very honestly. Or is it rock solid? Tell me what it is. Man, I am a sucker for dark chocolate. I want like 50 pounds of dark chocolate in my casket. You notice a small bounce. Okay, good. That's why it's failing. So, okay, but that's enough. The grout is a rigid material. I mean, it's got great compressive strength because all it is sand and cement. And in your case, if it's just regular wall grout, it's just no, it's not Easter Bunny chocolate. If it's just regular wall grout, it's just pure Portland cement. How wide are the grout joints? Tell me how wide they are. Are they really narrow? Are you using sanded grout or unsanded grout? It's a lot of fun to solve these problems on a live stream. But I hate it when it would be so much easier if we could talk at real time. You know, there's this latency, that drives me nuts. So, sanded or unsanded grout, do you know? All right. Well, here. Very narrow. Oh, premix. The premix stuff is garbage. That's part of the problem. It's garbage. Got to mix your own. All right. So you need to use unsanded grout. I don't know. The problem is, good night, is that a lot of people, if you haven't already noticed, the interest in Discord like cratered, and it's because most people don't want to learn that whole new system. You have to really want it bad to learn how to play over there. We can talk about that off list sometime, but it's a really, most people are like overwhelmed with that technology. All right. Anyway, Mr. Colon, you want to get unsanded grout, which is just like flour. It's just like dust. You need to mix it to the consistency of I don't know, like pudding. Like if you get pudding and I mean seriously, like you mix up pudding and you put the pudding in the refrigerator and you take a scoop of it. Like if you took a scoop of pudding in a spoon, chocolate pudding, dark chocolate pudding. Mm. Oh my gosh. You know how you could actually, as long as the spoon was dry, you could almost like turn it upside down and the pudding won't drop out, and it won't really change its shape too much. That's about the consistency you want that grout. You do not want it to be like pancake batter, where pancake batter will flow. That no way, man. It's got to have more body to it. And then you follow my directions in that video. Same exact thing, even though it's not sanded. The sponge has to be dry as can be. I mean, you have to squeeze out all of the flipping water and strike that joint and then hope for the best. But if the floor is flexing, if you do everything right, like I just told you, and the floor is flexing, it's always going to crack. There's nothing you can do about it. All right. Report back. Let us know what happened. Years ago, 8-bit, the Tile Council of America said that you could grout or you could put tile right on top of plywood, right on top. I actually did it in my kitchen. I actually did it in my whole house. This beautiful Victorian I built. You had to have 1.25 inches of solid wood on 16-inch on center. And there was a spec on the amount of deflection, and I met all the specs. Never had a problem. Never had a problem with any cracking anywhere. I put it all in thin set, but you had to have. I had 3/4 inch tongue and groove fir plywood, and on top of that, we put 1/2 inch plywood, and we layered it differently so that the seams didn't line up, and it works. But if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do it that way. I would put in. I'd put in the 3/4 inch plywood, tongue and groove, AC for maybe the Advantech. I don't know. I have to look at the specs. And then the Schluter Dietra system. They've got that like waffle, that plastic waffle stuff you put down, and you trowel the thin set in that. It basically makes like about a 1/2 inch thick layer, and then you put the tile on top of that. That's what they did in my daughter's new home. She's got floor trusses. They've had all kinds of failure in the grout. The tile guy did a really good job of putting the tile down, but he was crappy at grouting, crappy. I know exactly why the grout's failing, but Steve, look who's here. What do you know? I'm doing great. Dustin, you're welcome, Colin. Let us know how it comes out. Dustin says, should I be concerned about using an undermount sink with a butcher block countertop? Yes. 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 You're going to have to be so careful with that. I mean, you're going to have to be, I don't know that I would ever do that. I think you're going to have failure within 2 years. There's no way that the butcher block countertop is going to look fantastic. What I would do is I would ask whoever's making the butcher block countertop, have you seen this done before? Can you give me the name of any of your clients or people who have done this? And you would love to talk to somebody who's had their undermount sink in for 3 to 5 years. All I can think of is nothing but problems, just nothing but problems. We have a butcher block countertop down in our downstairs lower level. We basically have the 3/4 kitchen down there. We have a sink, a dishwasher. There's no stove or cooktop, but it would be really simple to put one in. And there's no refrigerator. It was really stupid design. It was just like a big giant wet bar. And that's really what it was made for. It was a party type bar. I guess they never thought they'd cook down there, but they should have made it a little cooktop. Whatever. It could be added with ease. But and it's just got a regular stainless steel sink on top of it, and it was not used much at all. I mean, the people who lived in this house that I live in now were only here on the weekends. Were never here in the wintertime. And we haven't used that sink that much, and the seams are coming apart. The butcher block's in not the greatest shape. All right. So that's with a regular overmount. So if you get much water on a butcher block top, they're toast. They're done. I would never put one in. I'm just telling you, in my opinion, you are going to regret to your dying day putting a butcher block countertop in where there's a lot of water. You're going to be ripping that thing out. I would only put in granite. All right. Oh, well, Steve, it's the same setup. I'm on a laptop. So, I'm on my Apple laptop because I don't know if you're up to speed. I haven't talked to you in a while, but about in the last 10 days, 2 weeks, I finally broke down, got a brand new Mac Mini computer. It's amazing. It's only it's 7.5 inches wide, 7.5 inches deep, and 1.5 inches thick. That's the computer, just this block. And then I got this giant, huge flipping curved monitor, this LG Ultra. It's like 36 inches wide. It's the most beautiful monitor I've ever seen. But there was no camera with it. So I've just been kind of lazy. I have not ordered a new um, beautiful HD Logitech camera. I need to do that. I've been putting it off. So I'm on my laptop. But I mean, this is the standard microphone that I've been using for months, but you never really saw it. All you saw was a little bit of this. So I've it's the same microphone. All right. Um, let's get caught up here. So give us a full report, Steve. How have you been? I'm really curious as to what's going on over there in the UK. Um, Steve wants to know any tips looking after a butler sink. So Steve, you need to help me out. I don't know what a butler sink is. I don't know. I don't know what that translates to over here. I've never heard of that before. I've not heard that term here in the United States. So tell me what a butler sink is. What else did I want to share? We're waiting Steve to tell us what that is. We solved the lady's waterfall granite top. Well, I can't wait to email her in a little bit and let her know. Gosh, that's one part of Ask the Builder that I really like, just so you know. I have, here the trouble is, it's really, this is the way it, I guess, in any business. You deal with some people who are ungrateful and I don't know, feel entitled. I don't, they're just not nice people. And then there are other people where I'll make their day. In other words, here's this poor what do you think this lady spent on that granite top? Can you imagine the top is in, and then the top guy says, "Oh, you're going to have to put a support underneath this." Like what? So she's just all upset and angry, and spent all that money. So I'm going to make her day, and that's a really great feeling, and I have this feeling that she's going to be super happy. Belfast sink. All right, so I don't. Let me go online and try to find one. All right, hold on. I'm going to put a Belfast sink. Belfast. So the Irish people supply all the sinks to the people down south. It seems like that's a joke. Belfast sinks. It's a very popular search term. Isn't that interesting? I love Steve. That's why I love you being here, man. I learned so much. This is fun. It's bringing up some photos right now. Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what it is. Yeah, we call them farmer sink over here. And that makes sense why they would call it a Belfast sink. I get it because of it's primarily, I guess, in Ireland, a very big farming community. So I have a Belfast sink in my own kitchen. They're wonderful, but we have a stone top, so never had a problem. Never had a problem with it. So it says here, any tips after? So I guess the tips that I would say would be my daughter, I know she did it, but she won't own up to it. So this is a China sink, all right? It's just made out of just like I don't know that it's ironware, but it's just like a toilet bowl. Well, you can't be throwing knives and forks and spoons into it. I have a plastic base thing, but it's not custom made to cover the whole thing or a rubber mat. And so there's 2 chips in the flipping tile in the sink finish. Now I can fill them in. I've just been lazy. I haven't done it. I can mix up some white epoxy because it's a white sink, carefully fill it in with a toothpick, and you'll never know. You'll never know they're there. But you cannot be throwing crap into the sink, all right? You're going to chip the sink. Never use abrasive cleaners. Never, ever, ever, never. Even when they say they're non-abrasive, they are. All right. We have a product over here called Soft Scrub, and I'm sure they've got really, really fine pumice in it. And you can feel it. You put the stuff in your fingers, you can feel the grit. And they're telling me, oh, no, man, it's not abrasive. It's just like the companies that make the flushable wipes. Like, yeah, you know what? Yep, you can flush them all right. You can flush the flushable wipes down the toilet. I don't disagree. But you know what? You can also flush tennis balls. You can flush golf balls. You can flush gravel. If you want to flush gravel down your toilet, you can do it. Is it a good idea to do it? No, no, bad idea. You can flush. You can you can flush candy. You can flush marbles. Think of all the things you can flush down a toilet. So abrasive cleaners, bad, 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 bad. Do not use abrasive cleaners. So unfortunately, you cannot get my stain solver over there. I don't want to knock that water over. But maybe over in the UK, you got a product like this, Steve. Just look and see if you can find this powdered oxygen bleach. I mean, look at it. I know you can hardly see it. It looks just like I don't know how to describe it. It's just a powder, but it's like sugar. It's like sugar, like granulated sugar is what it looks like. But you would want to fill the sink up. Like for example, if we put blueberries in our sink, it'll stain it. But so people freak out and they want to get an abrasive cleaner. No, 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 no. Just fill it with some warm water, throw a little stain solver in it, go to bed. You come in the morning, the sink's perfectly clean. So, yeah, you can flush cement. Exactly, Vinny. You can flush cement down a toilet. Is it a good idea? No, bad idea. Bad idea. We still have issues identifying what a woman is. If Lorraine was still here, she'd tell us. I already know. Also, we have made a deal with Rwanda to take our economic migrants to process. And Boris has been fined for breaking COVID rules. Oh my gosh. Things are really falling apart here in the US, just so you know. Really. A lot of craziness going on. And then what I love, Elon Musk. I mean, I haven't quite figured it out yet if he's a good guy or a bad guy. I think he's a good guy. Elon Musk, man, rattling the flipping cage over here in the US, man. I mean, trying to take over Twitter. Woo! Good for him. Go for it, man. Go for it. I'm all behind it. So, I know, Steve, I told you like 3 weeks ago, I wrote that letter to the editor of that local small conservative paper here about transgender issues. And to be honest with you, it's still in this whole thing. I've not seen anyone in the news come up with my solution. And it's so easy. I don't care about the transgenders. They're cool, man. Go ahead. I don't care if you want to do that. If you want to be a transgender, if you're confused and bewildered about the equipment that God gave you, okay. Here's the deal. If you want to be a transgender, then whatever you do with other transgenders. I'm not saying segregate you, but in other words, there's a reason why there's always been men's sports and there's a reason why there's women's sports. All right. So we just and we have games like during the week. There's 7 days to the week. 7 flipping days, right? 7 days. Is that right? 7 days. So only 2 of those days a week, there are games at the local high school or college, meaning like Ohio University hosts, I don't know, some other university, right? I can't even think of another university in Ohio. Oberlin, I don't know, Oberlin College to come for a track meet. All right. So the men's track meet might be on a Wednesday. The women's track meet could be on Thursday. And the transgender track meet could be on Friday. And here's the greatest part for the transgenders. They can pick whichever freaking locker room they want. They could use whichever one they want. Doesn't matter. All right. So and the transgenders, if they want to practice with one or the other, the men or the women, that's okay. They can do that. But when it comes to game time, nope. You guys, you transgenders, you need to flippin' race against the other transgenders. It's that simple. Nothing about this is hard. Nothing about it is hard. All right. So, all right. And as far as women, so see, Lorraine's still here. Are you kidding me? Nothing about a woman is hard. I mean, nothing. We drug test people, right? We drug test professional athletes. Isn't that how that guy, Lance Armstrong, right? The guy who run the Tour de France or whatever, cheating, flipping using drugs. All right, so he got some of his awards taken away. All right, well, what's the big deal? You just tell the transgenders you got to have a flipping saliva test. And oh, you're an XX chromosome. What do you know? You're a girl. You're a woman. And then, me and Steve and Will, we're XY. So anyway, all right, enough about that. We need merch. I know. Enough. Okay. I know. I started working on it. I gotta get some help from this woman who I know. I've never met her in person. She's a graphic designer up in Canada. Really nice woman. She did the cover for she helped me with the cover on my book I did for my kids. I got to get her to help me remake two things. We have to make in vector art. I'm not a graphic designer, so I don't have the software. We have to remake my logo in vector art and my cartoon guy. So I'm working on it. I know I got kind of pushed off. It says none of this is flipping hard. Okay, we're gonna do that. That's the cool thing. Just I'm gonna be able to come up with different designs and we're gonna vote on them. We're gonna vote as to what people want. So Steve says, have you heard of David MS? No, I have not, but I'm going to write it down. Anytime you ask me about these questions, I always write it down. I always go look it up. It just took me a while on the plumber guy. AMESS. I'll bet you Kathy's heard of him, though. You and Kathy. Man, you and Kathy, my wife, Steve, you guys are like peas in a pod, man. I'm telling you, if you guys were together, you would have such a good time talking about all this stuff. Oh my gosh. Jason, look at Jason trash talking to all the rest of you people. Oh my gosh. Flipping, he's got the only Ask the Builder merch. Oh my gosh. He's got his little 2x3. Tell everybody what I wrote on it. Tell everybody what I wrote. A personal message I put on your thing, man. What did you think about that? The brand on the back didn't come out as good as I thought it would. So Jason, I think, is probably typing right now what I wrote on the thing to him, the little message. I thought it was really fitting. Anyway, any other questions about your house? Here we go. Oh, Dance Fan. I missed it. This stuff goes by. Hold on here. Here we go. Vinny, one of the new houses here poured a foundation of cement and filled the open cedar pipe. 10 houses had solid pipes. Oh my gosh. That can happen, man. That can happen. Oh my gosh. Holy tomato. Boy, that would have been so expensive to fix. Oh my gosh. Yeah, good night. I saw that earlier today. Take the flippin' face diapers off. Dance Fan. Bamboo countertop is awful in the kitchen. Yep, for the exact same reason. It needs so much maintenance and very little scuff, scratches, and discolors easily. Yep, density easily. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it's horrible. I'm just a big fan of natural stone, and granite is so flipping hard. If you put granite in, and as long as you don't have kids throwing rocks around the house, you should be in good shape. I cannot wait to look up who this David MS guy is, Steve. Lurking. A top superpower indeed. That's exactly what it says on his piece of wood. To our top lurker. I mean, come on. Vinny, it was a few million to fix. Had to dig up. Exactly. Had to dig up a block. Oh my God. Oh, I can just see that concrete flowing into the sewer. Oh my gosh. Oh, all right. Any other questions about anything? Good live stream today. It's funny. I sometimes have premonitions, and I thought today's live stream was going to be horrible. I don't know why. I just thought, it's going to be horrible. But it turned out really good comments, good points. Yes, Jason, please. I only come here to do these live streams to answer questions because I don't want to talk about I don't want to blabber on and bore everyone. What's your question? I cannot wait to share with you tomorrow or the next day what this woman with the waterfall countertop says. She's going to be so happy. Oh my gosh. I can never, yeah, I can bore people. I can bore people till the cows come home. Jason's typing his big question. Here we go. Is there any special care instructions? Now, just don't put it in the fireplace. Bad. It won't get along very well with fire. No, I put 2 coats of water-based urethane on it. That's why it took a while to get to you because I had to make sure that it cured. Um, and I used water-based urethane on purpose so that it does not discolor over time. If you put oil-based urethane on it, it will start to develop a yellowish patina. But you should be in pretty good shape with those 2 coats of urethane. Should be in pretty good shape. Should be just keep it away from fire. All right, here we go. Here's David Amos. Was a backbench MP who was killed, stabbed to death by over near Christmas time. He has just been given a whole life term, but there was no outrage at all. Really? I don't know what a backbench MP was, so it must be MP must be military police, I think. Wow. Steve, I wonder if I don't have this is just a really a very raw gut feeling. And I think it's on purpose. And I'll tell you, Good Night's going to agree with this. Good Night is going to agree with this. He knows. Oh, Minister of Parliament. Okay, thank you very much, Dustin. A backbench Minister of Parliament was killed. Wow. All right, so here's what I think's going on, and I know Good Night can talk about this. I think professionally. I watched a here. You got to go to this website. All right, go to that website. I watched a video over the weekend that Kathy sent me. This Aaron nurse. So I'm going to get to your question, Steve. This nurse named Aaron, young woman, she's 39 years old, and she was an RN working in Florida. She lived in Tampa, Florida, and back at the height of the shamdemic, they were calling in. They had a call for nurses to come to help in New York City, which was also a sham. And she was getting paid. What was it? $5,000 a week. Yeah, $5,000 a week, I think. Huge money, big money. Okay, all right. So I'm getting to it, Steve. This is all kind of leading up. She was on She was on a live stream just like this, but that woman is farther advanced than I am because she was using different software that allowed her to have Aaron on as a guest and interviewed her. And the woman who was the interviewee was also a nurse and up in New York City. And the nurse Aaron was explaining, and the other nurse how they were using really advanced psychological ops. They call it, the acronym or whatever it's called, psyops. Right. So they were using psyops during the shamdemic, both in the mainstream media and even with the nurses and doctors, to try to convince them, to brainwash them into what they were doing was good. And when you watched her video and what she was reeled, they were actually killing all these people up in New York on purpose. Which is why, and I kind of knew this in a way back last summer, when I got COVID last summer, and there were a couple, 2-3 days, like I was about 5 days into it, I was pretty sick. And my daughter was crying here. She was crying on the steps, going up to her room, begging me to go to the hospital. And I said, I'm not going to the hospital. because I felt if I went to the hospital, I would never come out. Well, I'd come out on a body bag because I felt they were killing people too on purpose. And the biggest reason was is I didn't they weren't allowing people in. You're like if you go into the hospital, it's over. No one sees you. You're done. No visitors, no nothing. And there was no way that if I just felt to myself, I thought, if I am going to die of this, I don't want to die alone. And that's what I told her. I said, I'm not going because I don't want to die alone. And then she understood. Right. Well, guess what? Killing people on purpose. Got to watch that. You have got to go to her website and watch all her videos. She started recording all this stuff, and if her stuff gets out when this stuff finally hits, they even said it. Aaron and the woman that was interviewing her called it. It's going to be Nuremberg 2.0. So we had those horrible war crime trials and tribunals back at the end of World War II. Bunch of German people were executed. I'm telling you. Get this. You might not know this. All right. This is truth. This is all. This stuff was all shielded from you. Each hospital got. Let's see. What did she say? I think $15,000 just to admit you. The federal government wrote a check, 15 grand. If they put you on a ventilator, remember at the beginning, the big push, we need more ventilators. We need more ventilators. Why do you think they were saying that? Because if they put you on a ventilator, which they automatically did, they got another 39,000 from the government. And then they were injecting they're injecting the people with drugs to put them in a coma, and then not feeding them or giving them water, which of course you're going to die. I'm telling you, genocide. It was horrible. And they did that all as a psyops to us. So this is what I'm trying to say, Steve. I'm trying to get to answer your question. They did it as a psyop to scare everybody across America. Like, oh, this is what's happening in New York. It's coming to your city or town. And I think what's happened, to answer your question, why you said, Steve said, but there was no outrage at all. Okay. I think there's no outrage going on because I think what's happened is that all of us have been under this huge psyops to desensitize us to death, and in other words, to make it like a normal part of life. Like, oh, somebody stabbed somebody else, a bigwig in Parliament got stabbed. Oh, did the sun come up today too? Oh, what do you know? Oh, it's foggy in London. Oh, yeah, that's pretty normal too. All right, that's what I think's going on. Seriously, because to your point, how else could you possibly explain it? I mean, how else could you possibly explain it? Because people should you bet they should be outraged like that. In the olden days, that person who stabbed him would have been already hung. They would have hung the guy that night. As soon as they captured him, you're done. I mean, here in America, Steve, George Soros tell you how evil that guy is. Smart guy, man. He wants to tear apart America from the inside out. He's doing a really good job, man. I don't know if he's doing this in the UK. So George Soros, his billionaire. So he makes so much flipping money. So he gives all this money to these evil people, and he's getting all of these attorney generals in both cities and states. So here in the United States, Steve, the way it works, we have attorney generals in the cities and in the state level, and we also have one at the federal level. And these are the people that are in charge of prosecuting somebody. So here in America, I don't know if this is how it works in the UK. So let's say the police, let's just say there's laws in the books, like, you know what, you're not allowed to murder people, not allowed to steal cars, not allowed to whatever. All right. So the police, their job, the only job the police are, go capture the bad guys, collect the evidence, and then hand the bad guy over and the evidence to the attorney general, quote unquote prosecutor. So George Soros is getting all of these prosecutors in these big cities elected. He's done a really good job. He's got them in a bunch of cities: Philadelphia, Los Angeles. The list is probably a mile long. Or the attorney general of the state of New York. And then the attorney generals, they just go, let the person out. We're not going to prosecute him. So in other words, crime in a lot of places here in America is flipping out of control. Out of control, because the criminals are like, are you serious? We can do all this stuff and not go to prison? Woohoo! I'm telling you, that's what's happening here in America. Maybe that's what's happening there in the UK, which is leading to why there's no, but it doesn't make sense as to why there's no outrage. There is outrage here in America, but the trouble is, and maybe the same thing in UK, the people on the street are outraged, but how is anybody hearing their voice? Because the media, the mainstream media, is not going out with reporters in the field asking them, hey, were you outraged about the minister of parliament getting stabbed? And if they heard like 100 people on the newscast saying, hell yes, I was outraged. Well, they're not doing that. So there probably is outrage, but it's not being reported. What do I know? All right, let me get caught up. There's probably a million comments for all that. Oh my gosh, there's so many comments. I couldn't. Jason said I couldn't make the Saturday, but I've seen your premiere that you hit on later there. Are you going to be doing more of this? So that premiere, Jason, was for a regular video. That was a I was trying to lead up to my deck stain test this Sunday. So that's probably what that premiere was about. All right, dance fans, here we go. I'm getting caught up. What is a good waterproof glue for outdoor? Well, humidity, rain, snow, and really cold weather here in Ontario, Canada. Want to make some wood garden planters. You know what? All you have to do is I would just read the label and see if you can find a waterproof glue. I mean, the problem is, I'm just trying to think. I mean, there are good waterproof glues because we use them in plywood here in America. We use them in OSB board. So you just have to, I don't keep track of the specs of all the glues, but just go to the Elmer's website, like Elmer's top name brand glue. I'll tell you where to go to. Here's one. This is a great US company. Let's see. I'll hold this up. So I'm trying to get over so it's called PC Universal Glue. It's just a white glue, but let me read what it says. Non-foaming. It doesn't say anything here about it being waterproof. And it's got stupid instructions in all the different flipping languages. All right, I get it. So here, go to this website. See if you can read that. I'm trying to get it out of the glare. So it's pcepoxy.com. There we go. pcepoxy.com. Great company, great US company. See if, and then on their contact form, do me a favor, do me a huge favor. Go to their contact form, contact us, page, send them a message, and please tell them you heard about it through me. Say, hey, I was watching a live stream by Tim Carter. He was showing your one product, PC Universal Glue, and I'm trying to, and then tell them what you want. I'm trying to find a product, blah, 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 blah. And tell me if PC Universal Glue work. If it won't, do you have a product that'll work? And if you don't, do you know of one of your competitors that has a product? I'm just telling you, this is a great company. But please say you heard about them through me. I'd really appreciate it. And that goes for you too. Like if you are watching this live stream and you need a really great glue, go to their website. They make a fantastic epoxy for concrete. I mean, it's just out of this flipping world. Great stuff. So it's a great, great, great American company. Can't say enough good things about them. All right, let me get caught up. What about Ed Buck? I don't know who Ed Buck is. Vinny, funny how it was mostly older people might be going. It's funny, Vinny, you say that. Way back when the whole shamdemic started, I was talking with this total stranger. We were standing out in the parking lot of a lumber yard because they were so afraid they wouldn't even let us in the in the store. And he said, he was a smart guy. He said, they are trying to kill us. They're trying to purposely kill us old people so they don't have to pay Social Security. That was his idea. Steve, there's a big conspiracy over here that the National Health Service was using. Yeah, I'll bet you it's right. Um, it's really starting to come to the surface here, Steve, that the experimental biological agents. By the way, I said this on a previous stream. All right, I'm going to get it out again. Everybody needs to just so you know, because I know they're. I don't want to say the word, but it's a word that begins with a letter that it begins with that, and it's got an A after it. Everybody's using it. It's you get jabbed with this thing, right? Have you ever stopped and read the definition? I'm going to read it for you again. And you have to pass this around to everyone. You have to tell everyone about this. Here's the definition of the V word. I'm not going to say it. It's a preparation of a weakened or killed pathogen, such as a bacterium or virus, used to V word. I'm not going to say it. Do you understand that? A preparation, so it's a brew of a weakened or killed pathogen, such as a bacterium or virus. Do you understand that the thing that is being pushed here in the US by the different companies, it does not have that in it? It doesn't have any of that in it. So there stop calling it that. That's why, just so you know, way back 2 years ago, Dr. Simone Gold, the face person for American Frontline Doctors, that's why she said it's an experimental biological agent. That's what it is. It is not a V word because it does not contain any of the weakened or dead C word in it. There's none of that. So you need to go out there and start educating people and saying you have been played. You're being played big time. All right. So 8-bit. Now, here's somebody that's got some background in it. So correct me if I'm wrong. All right, 8-bit. Here I'm trying to get way caught up. There's so many comments. Yes, there you go. Exactly. And God forbid you go to defense, and you go to jail and they walk. Exactly. Yeah, we have a triple layer justice system here in America right now. I heard the UPS is refusing to deliver to San. Yeah, they are because there's some crazy guy. That story might have been overblown, Steve, in the UK. All it really was is, if the story's correct that I read, um, there's this guy who's mentally ill who roams around the neighborhood with a rake and he like hits postal workers with it. So if you're a postal worker, you're going, you know what? I don't want to get hit with a rake today. I'm not delivering the mail there. If you want the mail delivered, he tells the post. He can tell the postmaster in the office, you want the mail delivered? You go do it. All right. That's what would happen here in my town. I mean, the postmaster has come out here and delivered mail before. So that's the truth behind that story. Just some idiot out there beating up on the stupid postal workers, and they shouldn't have to put up with that. Yeah, and that's, exactly, there's the, UPS mile, yeah, there's a train switching area that so here's what's happened. So, Steve, if you've seen that, out there in the UK, where we have all these thieves breaking into trains while I used to be a train conductor, so I know a little bit about this. So the trains come in and they park, and then they have to break the trains apart and build a train, because they anyway, it's in this like little canyon made, and it's here's what you need to understand: it's railroad property, and the police in the L.A. have basically been told by the railroad, like, just stay off our flipping property, will you? We don't want you on our property. Right. So that, I mean, seriously, because they've got their own police. The railroad has their own police. So the criminals go, this is amazing. Because the railroad police, who knows where they are? They don't have enough or whatever. So they just rob all the stuff off the trains. It's horrible. PC Epoxy, thanks for putting that up. Good night. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, Tim. I'm impressed you remember my name, which you mentioned earlier in the stream. I did. Yeah, I got a good memory most of the time, but Kathy might say otherwise. In this V word, in this, let's see, I'm trying to get caught up, and it's not that at all. It is not that. It is not a true V word, and I bet you 8-Bit Vinyl agrees. I hope he does. I'm just going by definitions. I'm a professional writer, okay? So to me, words are really important. I mean, if a word I tell my kids this years ago. I would ask them to help me do jobs around the house, and they would be so grumpy, and they would say, "I don't like this." They would say, "This isn't like play." I said, "You're exactly right. That's why there's two different words. There's a word called work, and there's a word called play, and they're totally different." They didn't get it. They get it now, but they didn't get it back then. What I was going to do about right whiteboard. We're not doing a whiteboard. All right. Just trying to get caught up on these things. Ed Buck was a Clinton donor and was jailed for 30 years for drugging and killing black. Look him up. Okay, I will. Vinny, I wish your shed plans were 10 by 12. What, Vinny? You can use the same plan, just cut it down. Same thing with the estimation. Just you can cut it down. I mean, and I knew that problem was going to happen. In other words, I knew the people. Well, I don't want to. I can only build a 10 by 12 shed. I can only build an 8 by 10 shed. I can only build a 10 by 16 shed. Well, Christ, I could have 100 material sheds. Well, I don't want T111 siding. I want to have lap siding. I want to have vinyl siding. I don't want asphalt shingles. I want metal roofing. I mean, I can hear the complaints. I've been doing this 28 years. I can hear them now. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, well, then go figure it out yourself. Oh my gosh. Jibby jabby. So Andrew says you can scale them. Well, no, all you have to do is just cut off you just take the plan at what you see and where you see that mark at the shed. You just, I mean, Andrew's right. Chimp's right. Just scale it down. Nothing about this is hard. Nothing about it is hard, Vinny. I'm telling you, nothing about it is hard. Just look at the shed plans for my shed that's 16 by 24 and go, okay, 16 by 24. I really only need mine 10 by 12. Okay, well then just take your pencil and go over 12 feet on the 24 line, which is half, and then come down 10, and then you can see how many studs. Nothing about this is hard. Not one thing. You can do that in markup. You can actually take a screenshot of what you see on the PDF and then make your own lines, 2 lines to make your 10 by 12 shed. Nothing about this is hard. Oh, and I got to get caught up. Steve, you said that somebody wants me to, you talked about me on some other, it's way up there. I don't remember. Something about on some other live stream. I've not heard from them. If they want me on, let me know. Sharpshooter. Yeah. None have said about, yeah, exactly. Like I have not exactly nothing said about natural immunity. It's stupid. That tells you everything you need to know that this has all been a shamdemic. because I had said way back when, and this was even before I contracted the C word, the illness, um, that they're talking about having the V cards, like an ID card. And I went, well, wait a minute. Why don't all the because by that time in America, think about this. Think about this. Let's just go back in time a year. So here it would have been April of 2021. Everybody's still like shell shocked from the illness. So at that point in time, and this is another thing you never heard. How come you never heard? How come you never heard each night? Like, well, we had we had this many we had this many deaths. Well, you kind of heard it, but they never gave you a grand total. And they'd say, well, there were 18,000 new cases reported, wherever. So why didn't they ever total up? You understand this, where this is going? Wouldn't it have been cool to say, well, we had 18,000 new cases. I'm just making the number up. 18,000 new cases today in the state of Texas. And so far in the state of Texas, I'm making the number up. I'm making it up. We've had 20 million cases. And let's just say that the population of Texas is 30 million people. So then the natural thing would have been like, well, gosh, I mean, we got 20 million people. We didn't have 20 million deaths. So we got 20 million people here in Texas that are they're going to be okay. Everything's cool. They don't need the jab. They've already got it. I mean, you didn't hear any of that. That is exactly why this has been a shamdemic. And the other thing is, never before have you ever locked down healthy people. When you quarantine people, if you know anything, 8-Bit will tell you this. This is his profession. When you quarantine people, you quarantine the sick people, the infected people. I mean, that's why when the flipping astronauts, when Neil Armstrong came back from the moon, they didn't quarantine everybody in America. They put Neil Armstrong and his two buddies in an Airstream trailer for a month or whatever. They quarantined them. Oh, everybody's been played so bad. Oh my gosh. Rona employer, George's gonna enjoy the Rona. That's exactly right. Yeah, exactly. All right. All right. So that's good. A lot of good stuff there. I think I'm caught up on all the comments. If I'm not caught up on a comment, let's see. Here we go. We got quarantined in 73 due to scarlet fever. There you go. Entire family for 72 hours. Exactly. You don't quarantine healthy people. This is why. Well, I'll give you an example of this, by the way, too. Thanks, Vinny. Thank you very much for that purchase. You're going to love them. And those plans, when you open up, those plans were drawn by a professional architect. Great guy. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago, cancer. Great guy. Here's something that happened just to show you. This is related to the illness. UConn brought back Matt. Bunch of idiots. They're trying to scare everybody again. Yeah. All right. So here's what happened. Last week, I think last Thursday, I did that video that Jason was talking about that was a premiere. I just said it as a premiere. You can do that when you upload a video. Anyway, it was a video about what's going to happen this Sunday when I unveil what I think is the best deck sealer out there right now. And I did this video really quickly, and I just wanted to show people, I wanted to get them excited, saying, look, here's the deck boards that have been exposed for 2 years. And here is this shorter control sample that I had in my garage out of the sunlight. And I said, look, I set it down on the other deck boards, and I said, it almost looks identical. There's hardly been any color fade. And I had like 5 or 10 people email me saying, you did the test wrong. What's wrong with you? Why would you leave this sample in the garage? Like, I mean, just going nuts, man. I'm serious. Like, what? Like, are you out of your flipping mind? And so I responded to all of them as respectfully as I could. Like, tell me, how would you have judged? They wanted me to leave the control sample out in the weather. They said, "Where are the boards at that were in the weather?" And it's like, I was standing on them. I kind of said that in the video, but the point I'm trying to make is that there are people out there who can't think. It's scary. I mean, it's really scary. They cannot freaking think. I don't want to say that they're stupid. I don't want to say that they're dumb. It's that it's so frustrating. I'm getting caught up. Oh, okay. Yeah. I got him. Yeah, thank you, Steve. Got it. Um, yeah, it'd be great to be a guest on that guy's show. How cool would that be to compare um, what you do in the UK and what we do in the US? You know, two plumbers talk with one another. That'd be a lot of fun, actually. Tell him if you get in contact with him, tell him I would love to, if he's doing live streaming or do his guest or wants to record me, ask me questions, then put it in one of his videos. I'm happy to do it. Happy to do it. I'd love to do it, actually. Um, I might even get a nice pair of overalls that, you know, what old plumbers used to wear. Wear a pair of overalls. That would be kind of cool. You know, with the suspenders. That'd be kind of cool, actually. Uh, oh, I did not. So it says, if Grandpa can't fix it, no one can. You know. So it's one of the shirts my daughter bought for me when my granddaughter was born. So anyway, all right. I think that's about it. I don't have anything else to say. I've ranted enough. If you're still watching and you understood what I said about the V word, you know, the V word, you need to go out and spread the word. That tell everyone, stop saying that. Stop, because that's not what it is. That's not what it is. And explain to them what a V is. Explain to them what a true V is. Because it's horrible. I mean, this is part of the whole psyops thing, right? Good night, right? Um, yeah. Let me know when he's on. Yeah, let me know when he's on. Um, let me know when that guy's on. But yes, 100% psyops. This is such intense psyops that have been used on not only people all over the world. It's not just a U.S. thing. Oh, I'll just end with this. I did mention this, I think, on Saturday. Have you been paying attention to what's going on in Shanghai? Holy tomato. And this is kind of interesting. A friend of mine, I was out with a friend of mine doing radio on Friday. And my friend, great guy, but he's drank the Kool-Aid. He watches mainstream media. He's been brainwashed. And and we've kind of agreed not to talk about this stuff because we kind of disagree. And he was terrified back 18 months ago, 2 years ago, terrified. And so he said, here's what he said. He said, did you see that there's 30,000 people in Shanghai that have got the illness? He didn't say illness. That's my word. And my immediate reply was, and it completely stopped the conversation, which is what I wanted to do. I said, well, they've got 26 million people that live there. Like, big deal. Like, we have that kind of percentage of people that have got a cold. All right. So that's what's going on as far as psyops. In other words, and that's why, just so you know, let me show you how powerful the psyops thing is. I'll never forget this, and it all centered if you have not gone to that nurse's website, you need to go. I'm gonna put it in again. Oh, alright. I guess I should have put the www in. Oh, come on. That does make a difference. Alright. If you remember early on, and it was all centered around New York, I'll never forget this photo because when I saw this photo, I knew right then, I thought, "I know what these guys are doing." So here was one of the main photos that came out of New York. They took it either from a helicopter or a drone of this mass grave they had dug across the, bay from New York City in this horrible place, like a dump. It was horrible, but there was a complete photo op. It was a complete photo op. They didn't do it in a nice park or a graveyard where they should, but they dig this flip they had still even had the bulldozer in the shot, and it was, like, taken from, like, 200 feet in the air, and you could see the white boxes stacked on top of one another of this mass grave with the whole New York City skyline in the background. Are you kidding me? That is a pure flipping psyop. Pure right there. I mean, how undignified. You know, it's like, are you telling me that there's not enough land around that we can't give that a potter's field to give each one of these people that died a proper burial, um, with even a tiny little headstone? Are you kidding me? They have to, and as far as I know, it was faked, meaning there wasn't anything in those boxes. It was a complete psyop photo to scare the crap out of people. Whoever did that, they need to go in front of a tribunal. Seriously. Yeah, exactly, Steve. Exactly. Thanks. Good night. Yeah, I should have put the HTTPS in it. Um, yeah. So how badly, and then I read an article on Epoch. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, Epoch Times. Really interesting article I read either this morning. I can't, everything's kind of blended in. I can't remember. I think it was this morning. How shutting down Shanghai, uh, bad for the flipping, not only the Chinese economy, but it's gonna mess up everything in America. You think things aren't messed up now? I mean, there's a lot 26 million people who aren't going to work, who aren't working in factories. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's a lot of industry around Shanghai. It's gonna end badly. It's gonna end badly. Um, I'm telling you right now, you need to, inflation's gonna get worse, much worse. It's much worse than it's being reported. It's much, much worse. Um, and you need to be stuffing your pockets with cash. Um, it's gonna be ugly. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, I'm actually starting to put in a bunch of dry goods, a bunch of dry food. You can rest assured that by October of this year, that Kathy and I will have enough food. It might not be great, but you know what? A lot of people survive on rice and beans. All right. You can buy dried rice and beans. I've got these wonderful 5-gallon buckets with gamma sealable lids. You better have food. Better have food, buddy. All right. Any other questions? Thanks, Led Zeppelin. I will. Um, any other questions about your house? We got way off the rails. I got it. Yeah. New Hampshire. I'm telling you, I'm getting all kinds of food in. God only knows what I'm gonna have to pay for flipping propane next year. Not looking forward to that at all. Any other questions about your homes? Then I'll do a last call here, then I'm gonna get out of here. Um, It's starting to cloud up here. We had a beautiful day here. I'll tell you this real fast while you're typing your question. And if there's no questions, then I'm out of here. Beautiful, beautiful spring day here today. Beautiful blue sky. Temperature got up to 58, 59. Beautiful day, beautiful day. And then there's this nor'easter that's built a low pressure system that's down. I haven't looked at I haven't looked at a live weather map, so I don't know where I'll look at it right now. Waiting to see. All right, Steve, I'll let you go, man. Thanks for being here, buddy. It's great to see you again. I hadn't seen you in a while. It's awesome. I'm just looking to see where this low pressure system is. So I'm bringing up the weather map. Okay, so right now the low pressure system is just off the southern part of the Cape Hatteras, and it's going to be pretty flippin' windy here tonight and rainy and stuff tomorrow. We're having a nor'easter come in, so the weather forecast for tomorrow is it's only going to be 51 degrees. It's going to be an ugly day, but it's starting. The advanced clouds are coming in right now. Where can I get some of the MRIs? Yeah. Good Night can get them for us. I would actually like to test them if they're any good. If you get, do you, MRE, yeah. Do you get those from the base? Is that how you're allowed to get them? I don't want to give anything away. Dance fan, snowing in Ontario, Canada, base. Okay. Yeah. Good. All right. Thank you. I would love to actually get one. Are they any good? Can I ask her that? I heard that they're pretty good. They can be good. Is that true? No. Nope. Oh, no problem. Oh, yes, they're good. Okay, good. I would love to test one. I would like to try one. Are they affordable? I would say, are they affordable? Like, what would you pay for just a meal? Like, if you were going to have supper, could you just share? For me, yes, I get it. Yeah. Oh, well. Okay. Everyone just like 510. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. All right, thank you. Perfect. All right, so that's not that affordable actually, because I can go to the store and buy dry stuff in bulk and make it a lot cheaper. All right. So, all right. Okay. All right. Okay. Don't worry about it. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go. There looks like there's no questions for your house. Let's see. Today's Monday. I'll be back Wednesday. I'll do another one on Wednesday. I've got to tape the deck videos for this week for the big reveal on Sunday. There's going to be a few pissed off people on Sunday. That's all right. You know what? I'll just say to them what I used to say to my old girlfriends. You'll get over it like a bad cold. All right. I didn't say it that many times. Oh my gosh. All right. All right. So Jason, have a great night. Steve's already gone. Jason, Will, good night. 8-bit vinyl, dance fan, so many people. Golly, Led Zeppelin. So many. 8-bit vinyl. I'm trying to go back up. Vinny, if you're still here. Andrew. So many people. I know I'm missing some. Lorene. If I missed you, I apologize. All right. So many people. Thanks for supporting me. Lorene busting my chops about not having merchandise. All right, we're going to get the merchandise going. And as Goodnight wants us to do, join the Discord. All right. So it's a little quiet over there. All right, Dance Fan, see you. Yeah. Okay. Have a great night, everyone. It's going to be a little cold and rain tomorrow. A great day for me to get a bunch of stuff done electronically. And I love my new Mac Mini and my big, huge LG screen. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Oh, Jack, you're still here. Apologize. I apologize. So many names. The chat is like a mile long for me to go up through it. So anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with my rants. And do your best, seriously, do your best to go out there and tell people the truth about the V word, okay? Let's get people to stop saying it. Stop. Just go stop saying it. That's not what it is. Because they don't know. Because they're getting brainwashed. All right? Got to stop it. Stop it. Okay. Have a great night. Appreciate it. By the way, my hair is messed up because I've been wearing these things. I have to say this real fast. I've had these Bose noise canceling headphones. They're amazing, actually. Um, because my new monitor, well, the computer's got this really crappy speaker. Holy, and so my son said, "Well, Dad, you're gonna have to use headphones. So you're gonna have to buy some." I said, "No, I've got some. I've got some great headphones. I've had them for like 12, 15 years. I've never used them." And so I finally, it's like, what? Let me just tell you right now, if you're not using headphones, you're making a big mistake. I made a big mistake. I'm the first one to admit mistakes. I've made mistakes like for 15, 20 years now because the sound quality, I mean, maybe it's horrible on cheap ones, but these are really pretty good headphones. They were given to me as a gift. And I listen to music now that I typically listen to. I like to listen to Halo. I've never played the game. I'm not a gamer. But let me tell you, whoever came up with the music for Halo, oh my gosh, I don't know what they paid that orchestra, but or that composer, but it was worth it. Great, great music. Halo 2, great, great stuff. All right. But I'm hearing stuff in these headphones I never heard before. And my hearing shot. So all right. So headphones, use headphones, but don't blast your ears out. Just keep that volume low. You don't need to have it high when you've got good headphones because you hear the full range of sound. All right. So all right, yeah. A lot of good a lot of really, really good music on Halo. All right, gotta go. Thanks for being here. I'll be here tomorrow, not tomorrow. I'll be here Wednesday and hopefully not rant so much, whatever. And thanks so much for being here and thanks for supporting Ask the Builder. And sign up for the newsletter if you haven't. And how many thumbs up did we get? We got a lot. We got pretty many. That's good. All right. So spread the good word if you can. I appreciate it. And Vinny, if you're still here, thanks for buying those plans. If you have any questions, if you don't like them, let me know. I'll give you your money back. Not a problem. I don't care. All right. Got to go. Thanks for being here. Good night. Thanks for all the work you did today on the stream. You too, Will. Thanks for being here. Hopefully, Will, I'm going to golf later in the week. The weather's supposed to be pretty nice, but I guarantee I'm going to get out and golf again. I don't think I talked much about that last week. I did a little bit, but it was ugly. Yeah. We're only going to get a couple inches. I don't care about the snow. Not now. I worry in December and January, not now. I don't care. It could snow a foot tomorrow. I don't care. I'm not going anywhere. All right, got to go. Thanks for being here. I'm Tim Carter. You've been watching Ask the Builder. I had a really good time today, and it's because of you. You make the stream awesome. Your comments and your questions. That's why I do it. All right, got to go. Thanks very much. I'm Tim Carter. You've been watching Ask the Builder. Go sign up for the newsletter.